Los Angeles, California. New York City, New York. Memphis, Tennessee. Seattle, Washington. Omaha, Nebraska.
What?
All right. To be fair, Omaha is not the first place you think of when you think of great music. But let me tell you something. The Omaha area is crawling with fantastic musicians. You can walk into any club, any night of the week, and hear some amazing musicians that you've never heard of. And neither has anyone else. You know, we're all about bringing you the finest original musicians in their natural habitats. I'm your host, Moose Epperson. Please join me as we check out some more great music that's just lost in Omaha.
This is a song that's dedicated to the people living on the streets in the city. Most of them living in desperation and not really knowing if they're even going to be remembered in this life, by their families even. But this song brings out that there's one person that will always remember, and that's God. He watches and sees everything we do. Is aching as I stand in the rain. One more bottle of white horse would ease all the pain. Must I suffer this madness after all I've been through? Sister of mercy, please tell me true. Jesus, forgive me after all that I've done. Did he bleed on the cross for me as God's only Son? Will he open his arms to me and help me get through? Sister of mercy, please tell me true. Jesus still love me after all of my life? Will he still dry away the tears in my eyes? Will you open the door for me, dry the rain off my shoes? Sister of mercy, please tell me true. Still rules me, it's poison my mind. Oh, how I wish that I could turn back the time. And you still got no bed for me. Is there nothing you'll do? Sister of mercy, please tell me true. Redeeming my soul. One favor I'll ask you now, one favor I'll ask. Put a name on the gravestone when they lay me to rest.
Okay, 37 years. Thanks a lot for being on the show. We really enjoy having you here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We've had a ball.
Great. I'm glad. I'm glad. Well, I'd like you to introduce yourselves first, if you would.
Well, I'm Tyler Smith.
And I'm Sandy Smith.
All right.
We are husband and wife, by the way.
Awesome. So not related.
Brother and sister.
Yeah, brother and sister again. Back to
She
that.
was adopted, though. You know.
How would you describe your musical style?
Do I get to answer that?
Yeah, you can answer that.
Well, actually, you know, it's kind of hard to put in a nutshell because as growing up, I was influenced by so many styles. You know, in the 50s, I grew up on the Everly Brothers, Rick Nelson, Elvis, all of that. And the early 60s, I got in on the folk scene for a long time. And then when that started to change, when the hippie movement came about, you know, in the later 60s, you know, I got into the acid rock and all that kind of stuff, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And then rhythm and blues, R&B, a lot of Ray Charles influence. And then later, it wasn't till very recently I started getting into country bluegrass and Delta blues. And so I've searched the gamut. So when I write songs and when we play music, we kind of borrow from all of those influences.
Basically, we do a little bit of everything.
Now, how long has your album been out?
It's been out almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's funny about that stuff. You know, to us, it seems like old hat. We're thinking like, wow, we got to write some new songs, record some new songs. But we try to remember that people that hear it for the first time, it's all new.
It's new to them.
And artists, I think, need to remember that. Is like you write an old song maybe years ago, and you think, oh, man, I'm tired of this song. Somebody that's heard it for the first time might not be tired of that song because they're hearing something fresh. And I don't think music ever grows old. As a songwriter, I like to write songs about real events. This particular one, I was watching CNN headline news. This was happening right at the time Katrina was going down and New Orleans was getting hit. And so as I watched the news unfold on CNN, I actually wrote the song on the spot, watching the newscasts as they drifted in. And this song is called Goodbye to New Orleans.
Is there any particular artist out there now or at any point in history that was exceptionally influential on you?
This one's my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Dylan.
Dylan.
Bob Dylan. A lot.
I would say so too. And also Paul Simon in the early days when he was writing for Simon and Garfunkel. I really got deep into those social issues and things like that. So Dylan, Simon and Garfunkel, Stephen Stills, people like that were big influence.
Great, great. Have you got any projects coming up? Anything that you're working on?
Oh, most of the time we're just out playing right now. We've been playing at several venues around Omaha pretty steadily, and we're stunned and blessed and thankful. And so we love to play. It's our fun. It's what we do for fun.
Yep.
And we've been blessed enough. And the people who are coming up, the people who are out there wanting to perfect their craft, that's the most fun you can have, just going out and playing music.
Right. Can you tell me what you think is the most important element when crafting a song?
A hook.
Yeah, I think it has to be simple. I find like a lot of the convoluted music that's written nowadays, it's not anything you can go down the street humming the melody. I think it's got to have a workable melody that kind of sticks in people's minds. That's why I think like back in the old days, simple songs like Puff the Magic Dragon were such huge hits. Everybody could sing them, and it stuck in their mind, the melody. Next thing they do, they go out buy the record or whatever. And also being real, I think, in what you write about. Writing about your circumstances in life and writing things that people relate to. They say, hey, I've been through that. That's me. Sandy and I have been singing music for a long time, playing music since the 70s. We knew each other back then and played at a lot of coffee houses together and became fast friends, very good friends. And then I started to fall in love. She was a little uncomfortable with that idea and just wanted to be friends. That's when it started to get uncomfortable, and ended up we didn't see each other for 37 long years, and that's where we get our name. I finally ran into her again 37 years later, standing outside of a coffee house on the sidewalk smiling at me. And I wrote this song for her, and we started singing together again now, and we're married. We want to grow old together. Do you remember me? I was the one that came from nowhere. I came to you in my despair. Do you remember me? Do you remember me? I was the one that used to smile at you when we sang all those harmonies. Do you remember me? And now that we are older, we can look over our shoulders and see how far we've come. And now, when I see you stand there smiling, I know my heart is crying, and I'm too tired to run. Do you remember me? Do you remember me? I was the one that crashed into your life. You became my secret wife, but only in my dreams. Do you remember me? I thought my life would truly end when you only wanted to be friends. Do you remember me? But now traveled many roads in life. Do you remember me? Do you remember me? The old days, I must confess that we must put them all to